This compound that we're going to talk about in this episode is Masteron. Masteron is a trade name for Drostanolone. It's a popular anabolic steroid among bodybuilders who are looking to get hard, looking to get dry, and who especially are into competing, photo shoots, that sort of thing. Very, very lean to get the benefits out of it so you can really pop those muscles and really see those cuts. The cool thing about Masteron, guys, it is a DHT, dihydrotestosterone drug. It has some interesting qualities that makes it very different from other anabolic steroids. For one, absolutely best polisher, guys, out there. Number one steroid for people who are going into a competition. If they got to look good 2 weeks from now on the dot, they'll run the crap out of Masteron ahead of their show. So we're going to talk all about it on this episode, guys. First, let's go over to history. We're going to bring in our history guru, Rick, and he's going to go over the history of Masteron.
So pretty short history on Masteron. Basically, Masteron was the only steroid that was really used for inoperable breast cancer in women. Masteron showed very early on from its introduction, showed to have anti-estrogen properties. It was used for that purpose. And like many steroids that were used to treat medical conditions, over time it was replaced by better drugs that did a better job at controlling estrogen side effects and didn't have any issues with virilization, with making the girls grow hair and their voice thicken up. So it just fell out of use because of it. The company that introduced it, just by the way, is Syntax, which is the same company that introduced Anadrol. It was about 10 years after Anadrol had already been on the market is when Syntax introduced Masteron. And early on, bodybuilders used it as an anti-estrogen. Back in the 70s when it first hit the market, Arimidex, Aromasin didn't exist. Novadex was around already, but it wasn't until the late 80s that Dan Duchesne proposed that Novadex could be used to treat gynecomastia or to prevent gynecomastia during cycle. Before that, before Arimidex, before Novadex was used for this purpose, before Aromasin was ever created, it was Masteron is what bodybuilders used as an anti-estrogen during their cycle. They didn't look at the drug much as a muscle builder or an anabolic because they were using other stronger anabolics. They just looked at it as a good anti-estrogen drug to use in case you were prone to estrogen side effects or if you were getting ready close to a show and needed to deal with water retention. Because pound per dollar, it's not a very economic drug. You're not going to gain a lot of pounds off of it for the amount of money you're going to spend on it. So bodybuilders really kind of sort of always used it as an anti-estrogen. Then in the 90s and early 2000s, when the new anti-estrogens came into play, when Novadex began to be used for this purpose and all that, then Masteron kind of fell out of favor. Guys stopped kind of using it. And there's been a resurgence in the popularity of Masteron in the last few years. I've noticed people are talking about it more and more and more and talking about the anti-estrogen properties of it. So it's kind of making it a comeback, it seems like, in popularity.
Here's an interesting thing about Masteron, guys. It was always in the propionate ester, so very, very short ester. But a lot of you who have used Masteron have used it actually in the NFA ester, and the reason for that is the underground labs have really done a good job of coming up with that longer type of ester of Masteron. So that's kind of cool that you don't have to inject it every day or every other day if you're using that longer ester. But originally, guys, the farm grade Masteron always came in propionate form. You're not going to find it in NNA form, but a pharma grade source. I mean, maybe that changed today. I don't know, because a lot of sources out there, they'll sell what they say is farm grade quality or human grade quality gear, but it really isn't. It's actually still underground labs, but it might be maybe a higher type of quality,